With him. Thank you very much for joining us and coming for Friday briefing. So, and I said on my Twitter handle that you'll be coming on my show tonight. Very many of your supporters, they call themselves Canaanites, say that they're willing and ready to start the journey. And I ask myself, what makes you feel like you're ready to take that responsibility of all those people who are ready to be guided by Joshua?
Well, you have to have confidence in what you are doing. And I'm sure that the people of Kenya have confidence that they want change. They want to change the state of affairs because they are hungry, they are hurting. And that's why the Canaan is very appealing, that they want to get out of Misri, Egypt, as quickly as possible on this journey. And when I tell them that on the 8th, early in the morning, they will blow the whistle and the journey will start.
Immediately?
Immediately.
All right.
And by 8 o'clock, we'll have crossed the river. By midday, we'll have arrived at the city of Jericho. And by midnight, we'll arrive in Jerusalem.
Interesting. Let's go back to something that you said that caused, quite some serious reaction online. And this you said during the debate on Monday. And you touched on something to do with single mothers. And immediately, very many women went online and, it was such a big discussion. Why single women? I mean, we have very many demographics of people who would need, the kind of help that you're talking about, but you narrowed down to single women. What inspired this?
There are special groups generally in our society, and each one of them deserves an attention. We talk of the youth, we've been talking about the disabled people, we talk about gender generally. But there's this special category that nobody's been talking about at all. It's something that has really agonized me. The single parents, most of them are single mothers. You see, these women, some of them are widows, some of them are divorcees, some of them just got children, but they never got married. So they have this burden of looking after these children single-handedly. So they're the fathers and the mothers of the children. And a number of them are not employed. And because of this, the children themselves suffer. See, the children become victims of circumstances of their own, which is not of their choice. So to help these children, you need to help these mothers. That's why we've identified them as a special category that requires special attention, so that they need to be empowered to get jobs, so that, or something that's gainful employment, so that they can be able to fend for this the family.
All right. So apart from employment, are we looking at a fund? Like you mentioned, we have the youth fund, we have a fund for physically challenged people. Will they have a special fund, or how are you going to go about this?
Yes, we are going to create a fund. A fund, just like we said, we are going to help the youth by, for example, setting up industrial parks and providing equipment. And also giving them a fund, some loan, through which they can start up and train them. So there is also going to be a sort of fund for these single parents, so that they can do likewise.
All right.
It's easier for a man to divorce and quickly marry another wife, see? But a woman with a child finds it very difficult to get another husband, see? The husband has remarried and is living very happily
with other children,
and no other man wants to take this woman with somebody else's child. So it's a very, very tricky situation.
All right.
Yeah.
You mentioned about young people, and right now in very many homes here in Nairobi and across the country, you find that there are very many young people who've gone to school, they've graduated with degrees, but they're sitting at home. There are really no jobs. And every politician who comes to sell their agenda, is always focusing on these young people, but they never get anything at the end of the day. They're still unemployed, they're still living with their parents, even after their parents struggled to take them through university. What is it that you're going to do to actualize this employment agenda?
Yeah, I've said that the future of these youths have been rigged. they will rig it because
Why so?
they have done everything right from childhood. They have obeyed their parents. They've gone to school. They've studied diligently. You're told to obey your teachers, work hard. You work hard. You pass your exams. Then you have now a certificate at the end of it, either at Form 4, or you then manage to go to university. You come up with a degree. You have a certificate, but then there's no job. And at the same time, the government is demanding that you should be paying the HELP loan.
Yes.
Now, you pay the HELP loan and you're not employed. Where do you get the money to repay that HELP loan? So first we've said that we will not demand, we will remove that requirement for somebody to repay the HELP loan until you're gainfully employed. Okay? Then, you see, if you look at just the formal sector, you'll not be able to deal with this issue of unemployment. Because right now, 40% of those youth are in the labor market. In terms of figures, it is 12 million youths. That's a big figure. So that's why you must look at the informal sector. That is where you can absorb most of them. At the moment, informal sector employs 13 million people. The formal sector only employs 2.4 million people. This government is only concentrating on the formal sector. It cannot absorb all these youths. That's why we come up with an idea of industrial parks in all the 47 centers of our counties. That will absorb a number of youths. First, you put a facility there for training so they get skills. And then you put facilities there for now gainful working. And a fund which will help them to start up. Okay. And that becomes a grant.
All right. Let's come to Raila the man. We'll come back to some of these other issues that, quite a number of people have asked about. But let's come back to Raila the man. The late Kijana Wamalo described you as a man who either on one hand people love you very much, or on the other hand people don't want to see you. Raila mania and Raila phobia. What do you think this is the case? What is it that people love about you, and what is it that people can't stand about you?
See, if you are somebody who is just loved and you have nobody who hates you, then you're living in another world altogether, or you're not being realistic at all. The question is, how many are those people who hate you compared to those who love you? I think that if you put them on a scale, those who suffer from Raila mania are far much more than those who suffer from Raila phobia.
Raila phobia.
So that is what actually pleases me.
So you're saying the people who love you are more than the people who don't feel the same way about you?
Certainly. The people who love me are more than those who hate me.
I guess that we'll be able to see come August 8th. But also, what do you feel every time you go for the campaigns? First of all, for the preparations and, what is the message that you normally have? Because you always have stories. Let's say you have like 5 rallies in a day. You always have this story that you keep giving the entire time. And of course, you have the riddles, the vitendawillis. And is it that you sit back and think, okay, so this is my story today, and this is the message that I want to send today, and this is the list of vitendawillis, so to speak, that I have for the people who are going to come to my rallies?
No, these things come naturally.
They're naturally? Okay.
When I was growing up, I used to listen to the elders. And I know that in African tradition, people used to talk in riddles.
Yes.
This is one way of actually bringing a point home. You look at a real life situation. And you see, so it depends on the subject that you're talking about at that moment in time. So you liken it to a certain real situation. Like when I'm talking about a witch.
A witch, like a witch? Like
those witch who run
at night? The night runners,
Who went out running, jogging, and then he felt tired. And then he said, oh, the night is still too young. Let me rest a little bit here. I'll go back home later. And then he fell flat asleep. By the time he woke up, the sun was up. And everybody now was wondering, how did this man get here? So I say that is Jubilee.
Oh, really?
For 4.5 years, they were just sleeping. They woke up and then they see Nani Nani coming.
There you go.
Quickly now, they're rushing around to launch projects. Oh, the president is coming to launch a development project. There's a road to be constructed, water projects, and so on. By the time they come, equipment are there, the tractors, but as soon as they leave, the tractors are taken back to the store. So I'm saying this is a similar situation.
Wow, interesting. So that's how you're likening the Jubilee administration. Let's come to your family, because quite a number of people asked about, how really do you balance these campaigns? Like today you've been out of Nairobi for actually the whole day, and right now you're here. By the time you're getting home, it's really late. So how really do you balance this campaign season and your family that you're really close to? And we'll be getting to that shortly. Do they get the time that they deserve?
Yes and no. You see, it depends on the time of the season. Like this is now the campaign season, and my family know, and they are very understanding that I'm required more out of the home than inside. So when I get home, when they're still there, we will discuss. But otherwise, early in the morning, before I leave, we have breakfast together, for example, and we plan our days, and so everybody knows what they should be doing.
All right.
Yeah, so I would say that my family has been very, very understanding.
And talking about family, let's talk a bit about Mama Raila Odinga. I was reading somewhere that, when you got married, or when you married her, you didn't have enough money to take her on a honeymoon to, was it Jamaica?
Yeah.
And you had to, what happened? Did you have to wait and then you did it later on?
Yes, someone, I had as a geographer. And in her geography classes, she came to like the Caribbean. Me, on the other hand, growing up, one of my best musicians was Harry Belafonte. I liked how he was singing. And the music that really impressed me most was the Jamaica Farewell.
Can you sing it for us, maybe
so,
a few lines?
I will, but let me just explain.
Yeah.
So when we were getting married, we had been together for a while. We all wanted to go for a honeymoon to Jamaica. But unfortunately, we didn't have money to go that time. So we promised each other that sometimes, once in our lifetime, we will go to Jamaica. So later, years later, when now our children were all grown up, we decided to take a trip to Jamaica. So we went to places like Montego Bay, we went to the Belafonte house around there. We went to a school where Usain Bolt went to school and where he started running. We went to my boys, was Rastafarians, Fidel, and the late Fidel and Junior.
Yeah.
They're all fans of Bob Marley. So we went to Bob Marley's home and his grave and his mother's
So did you
grave.
go as a family?
We went as all of us.
So it wasn't really then a honey, it was like a family vacation?
No, there's no family. We went to the Blue Mountains and so on, to the Maroons. And, yeah, so we really enjoyed it.
All right.
Yeah,
so we want to take a break, but you promised you're going to sing for us a line or two from Jamaica Farewell.
Yes.
From your favorite artist, Belafonte.
Yes. You want me to?
Yes, yes, please.
And it was translated also in Swahili. But it goes like this. Round the bay where the nights are gay and the sun shine daily on the mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship. When I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a days. I had this down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston Town.
All right, lovely. All right, so we'll be getting back to our conversation here in studio. Keep your questions coming and I'll be able to put them out to NASA flag bearer Raila Odinga. For now, though, we'll take a short break. Don't go away. We're coming back in a few minutes.